No, they are. They are.
Oh, they're good? Yeah, we're good. Yep.
Everybody good? Good evening. This is the Ridgewood Village Council regular public meeting. The date is December 10th, 2025. The time is 7:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same as provided by law of a schedule, including the date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Councilmember Mortimer.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Perrin. Here. Councilmember Whites.
Here.
Councilmember Winograd.
Here.
And Mayor Vagianos.
Here, will you all please join us in a salute to our flag? I move the bills, claims, and vouchers and statement of funds on hand as of November 30th, 2025 be accepted as submitted.
I second it.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Perrin.
Yes.
Whites.
Yes.
Winograd.
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes. I move that the Village Council minutes of October 22nd, November 5th, and November 9th, 2025, having been reviewed by the Village Council and now available in the Village Clerk's office, be approved as submitted.
I second.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Perrin.
Yes.
Whites.
Yes.
Winograd.
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes. And we have a proclamation proclaiming January as Radon Action Month. Siobhan, will you do the honors?
Sure. And before I begin, I do want to remind everybody in the public that if you're interested in testing your home for radon, the village was the recipient of an award, and we have kits in the Department of Health. So it's an interesting thing to check. It promotes better safety, and therefore I'm going to read this now. Whereas radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is the second leading cause of lung cancer, and whereas prolonged exposure to radon can kill as many as 500 people in New Jersey each year, and whereas families who reside in homes with elevated radon levels are at risk of developing serious health problems, and whereas any home could have high levels even when neighboring homes do not, and whereas radon testing can be done with great ease at a relatively low expense to the homeowner, with the cost of reducing radon concentrations being comparable to home repair. Whereas the New Jersey Department of Agricultural Protection and United States Environmental Protection agencies are collaborating during the month of January to promote the need for radon testing in an effort to protect the lives of our state residents. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Village of Ridgewood Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood does hereby proclaim the month of January 2026 as Radon Action Month in the Village of Ridgewood, and calls upon all residents who have not yet tested to test their homes for radon and reduce the radon levels, if elevated, are found, to protect their families from serious health risks of radon.
Thank you, Siobhan. And
Before,
now,
Mayor,
Whoops,
one
excuse me.
moment. I'm sorry. I apologize. There was an error on the vote for the minutes. It was November 12th, 2025. So if we could just have a motion and a second to approve November 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and Mortimer.
Yes.
Perrin.
Yes.
Whites.
Yes.
Winograd.
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
we good?
Yes.
Let's go into the well and do the fun stuff.
Good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is John Judge, Chief of the Ridgewood Fire Department. Our first swearing in this evening will be our newest career firefighter, Connor McGuire. A lifelong resident of Ridgewood, Connor graduated from the Ridgewood school system. Connor's been a volunteer firefighter with our department since 2022, having already completed his mandatory Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 training prior to being hired. He was also required to obtain his EMT certification. Happy to share this finished the course this past week and passed the national exam. He'll continue his training in-house, starting up Platoon A, actually tomorrow morning, under the direction of Captain Zales. Congratulations, Firefighter McGuire. Please come on up.
And will Connor's family please come up and join him? You can bring everybody. When I said everybody, that's what I meant. Connor, who's going to hold the Bible for you? I think it's a good choice. Okay. By the way, we are honored to have you join the ranks of this brotherhood to protect our community, to protect our families. The fire department has been in my house more than once in the last 30 years, and I hope you don't have to come. But we greatly appreciate your service to the community. So, and with that, if you will place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me, and I will swing the mic to you, okay? I, Connor McGuire,
I, Connor McGuire,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. It's not official until you and I sign, so you sign first. Excellent. Again, we are all so happy that you are here. Would you like to say a few words? Absolutely. That's fine. Then now we do the wedding line. We're going to go this way, and we're all going to congratulate you. Here we go. Is that photos, photos, photos. I always forget the photo. Wedding line. Congratulations. Congratulations. Hold on. Congratulations. Wait. Congratulations. Congratulations. She's smiling. She's flirting.
Thank you, sir. All right. Our second swearing in this evening is for Ryan Romero, who is being promoted to lieutenant. Although we are celebrating this publicly tonight, Lieutenant Romero's promotion became official at the end of April. Lieutenant Romero has been a dedicated public servant for nearly 20 years. He began as a firefighter and rose to the rank of captain in his volunteer department before continuing his service as a career firefighter with Ridgewood for almost a decade. Throughout his career, Lieutenant Romero has earned numerous certifications and awards. Last year, he was one of 2 members to receive the department's Exceptional Service Award for his work supporting our special needs community. Lieutenant Romero is committed, self-driven, and constantly seeking new knowledge, qualities that define a strong leader. He cares deeply about this department and the residents we serve, and we look forward to watching him excel in this new role. Congratulations, Lieutenant Romero.
Ryan, will you come up and please bring your entire family with you? It's baby night at the swearing in. Okay, you watched the last one, right? So you know how this goes. All right, good. Yes, I got to get you the part. Thank you. Just remind me about the picture part, okay? Ready? I, Ryan Romero, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly, I forgot to give you the microphone, perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of the office of Fire Lieutenant
of the office of Fire Lieutenant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Would you like to say something, Ryan? Okay, gotcha. Photos. Excellent. Let's give both these guys a big round of applause. Wedding line. Congratulations. So happy for you. Congratulations.
So cute, those babies. So good, too.
I think we should require babies every time we do
I
that.
love that part. The babies are great. By the way, I shook hands with them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm just going to give them a minute to go because. Yes, I know. Okay, and with that, let's go to public comment.
There will be a bell when 1 minute is left, and then when the buzzer goes off, I will state time is up.
Good evening, Pam Welch, resident of Ridgewood. I just have a public announcement. We will be having a meeting on Monday, December 15th at 7:30 at the Ridgewood Library Auditorium. And what will be presented is Kensington will show us their rendering of the proposed assisted senior living plans with traffic information, et cetera. So I'd like to invite all the residents to come Monday, December 15th at 7:30 to the Ridgewood Library Auditorium. Michael will be doing a presentation for our benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Good evening, Michael No, Ridgewood resident. First, I wanted to compliment all of the people who work on the leaf cleanup. They came through my neighborhood today, and they really did a good job, and the street sweeper, back and forth. It's very impressive. The other thing, talking about Kensington, is I noticed, I don't know, I read it someplace, that there's a very similar project to what Kensington is proposing in Hawthorne. It's 114 units, 17 of which will be affordable housing. But the only main difference is that the one in Ridgewood is something like 1.25 acres, but this project with a very similar scope is on over 6 acres of land. So I hope you will take that into consideration. And I think this change to our zoning is a mistake because it will set a very bad precedent for any developer who wants to basically come into town and do anything that they want. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Good evening, Ann Loving, Ridgewood resident. Late last week, I wrote a letter to the mayor. The mayor did not respond to me, so I will ask the same question now of all of you. The decision to have bells going off in the middle of an individual's public comments seems very contradictory to your previous insistence that members of the public are never interrupted when they are speaking. This is not only an interruption, but it's very distracting, and frankly, it's quite condescending. I attend all the meetings, as you know, and you have always managed very smoothly when someone goes over the time allotted. 1 or 2 sentences and a quick reminder from you, and the person sits down. There's a countdown clock up there on the wall, full display for every speaker, and Heather always announces at the beginning that you have 3 minutes to speak. That always seemed to be enough, and it permitted a speaker to say his piece without a loud and obnoxious interruption. I really wrote this letter to you, Mr. Mayor, asking what was the purpose of this, because I have not seen any change in what's going on here. I haven't seen people going over time particularly, so I really would like an explanation, and seemingly you didn't feel you could give me one. Maybe somebody else on the council can answer for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Anybody else from the audience? And no one has their hand raised on on hybrid access? And so with that, I'm going to close public comment. Would anybody like to respond to any of the comments made? No? Okay, we'll go to our manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. First, I want to extend my congratulations once again to Connor and Ryan on their appointment and promotion tonight. I also want to thank the Ridgewood Chamber of Commerce and all of the different village departments who were involved in organizing the Downtown for the Holidays event on Friday evening. Despite the cold, it was a sensational night here in Ridgewood, downtown. It was a great celebration to kick off the holiday season. I just want to thank Joan Groom and her team and all of our staff here for the work they took on to once again celebrate the 40th anniversary of Downtown for the Holidays. I also want to thank PBA here in Ridgewood. This week we signed the memorandum of agreement on a new 4-year contract. The salary increases in that contract equate to 1.5, 2.5, 1.5, and 2.75 over the 4-year period from 2006 to 2029. I want to thank Kyle Monton, the president of the PBA, Jay Chuck, the president of the Superior Officers Association, along with Kyle Scarpa and Peter Youngberg, who were both on the negotiation committee with Kyle and Jay. We were able to settle this contract before the expiration of the current contract. We're making the updates to the document now, and we fully expect to have it signed by the end of the year. That said, the council will consider tonight the PBA salary ordinance for the next 4 years on second reading, and we will be in line to have that contract go into effect with that approval on January 1st. With regard to the garage barriers, I know this was a discussion at last week's work session. Council had asked me to bring some additional information forward. We also were able to put together some renderings. So Dylan, if you would start with one of the 4 pictures that we've been able to put together relative to that. But in talking to Bob Rooney, he was able to articulate to me some of the back history that went into deciding what the appropriate barrier would be at the top of the Hudson Street garage. So when this discussion started, after that picture that I showed last week was sent to the village, Bob began by vetting various options with the architect from the original garage construction. Wrought iron, chain link, and iron panels were originally considered, but dismissed with regard to concerns to the aesthetic qualities of each of those materials and what they would look like. From there, they considered a cable rail system. However, there were some concerns about the ability to mount them successfully to the walls on the 4th floor of the garage. From there, they considered a key link aluminum railing, which would have been less money, but again, the mounting of that to the horizontal surface at the top of the 4th floor was a concern of the architect. Once it was discovered that we were going to need to mount these to the side wall of the garage, so we're going to mount these, and Dylan, if you could go 2 pictures forward, you'll see that we'll need to mount these on the vertical side of the wall rather than on the top of the wall. We re-engaged Epic, who was the original garage contractor, who needed to determine whether or not the material that was being proposed would be able to withstand any type of wind shear. So they were able to vet that through a wind shear test to make sure that this was not going to adversely affect the precast walls once mounted on the side. Bill Costello, who has been the Epic project manager, spent a considerable amount of time with Bob and our team at the garage to make the determination that this is the best barrier system that we can place on the garage to ensure the stability of the garage itself, to ensure that there is an appropriate and strong enough barrier that if a human tried to get over that wall, that it would be safe, and also to ensure that the mounting system would work properly. So the recommendation that we have that we discussed last week and that is on for the consideration of the council tonight, this type of fencing material would be able to withstand high winds. It would also be able to withstand anything that struck up against it. The metal mesh was selected and the layout of the individual mountings. The mesh will be about 31 inches. And the mountings will be affixed generally about as far apart as you see on the screen. This all needs to be prefabricated, which goes to the cost that we discussed last week. And one of the additional costs is going to be the fact that the installer is going to utilize an X-ray machine in order to scan the walls to locate any of the cables that exist and are embedded behind the wall structure, so that we do not compromise any of those cables that are part of the structure of the existing garage. So this is a very technical process. Again, everything needs to be prefab. There's not something that we can buy off a lot. The materials that are going to be used need to be able to withstand, again, that wind shear and not have an adverse effect on the precast walls, and the use of the technology to be able to x-ray the entire 4th floor to make sure that they're mounted properly. That's what leads to the cost that we considered last week. So I'll open up that to any questions, but I hope that gives a summation of the process that we went through to vet the materials to be used to provide this safety barrier.
To me, that's a significant deterrent to climbing over the wall.
It is.
Anybody? It's on. Can anybody else hear me back there? Because I'm pretty close to the mic.
I think you were looking away at the time.
Oh, okay. Better now? Okay. Dylan, it's okay. So I think this is an obvious and significant deterrent, but don't want to underestimate the ambition of a teenager. And my question is for Matt. Here, we would be going to significant lengths to keep people safe. But what if an unusual person decides they want to try to climb this? Are we liable if there's harm?
Generally, the New Jersey Tort Claims Act prevents or immunizes the municipality or any governmental entity for an act of that certain type, character, unusual nature in this instance. We became aware of a safety issue. We've taken significant steps to try and protect them, and there's only so much a municipality or a governmental entity is required to do. So I would say that putting this up certainly would insulate us further and protect the immunities that we have under the statute.
Good, thank you.
Dylan, if you could just flip through back to the first slide. I'm going to just walk through. So that's obviously looking at the garage from Broad Street. By the way, I did share these with the Monsignor at Mount Carmel. I know there was a lot of discussion about the garage with the church community back when the garage was first being considered, or those years that the garage was being considered. The Monsignor looked those over, and he understood the need. I had also shared with him the picture that I'll show again at the end. If you could flip forward. That's taken from the front of the church, or the side of the church, I guess I should say. The visual impact from the street is not that significant, and it doesn't give that chain link effect. It's small squares that make up the mesh. You go to the next one, Dylan. And then these are three images of the mounting and from different vantage points on top of the fourth floor. So just run through those. And then the last slide. And then again, can you zoom in, Dylan? Is that possible? I don't know what but again, I showed this last week. I know it was just on one of the screens, but this to me is the story that needs to be told as to the safety aspect of this entire endeavor. I know it was discussed previously. Again, this was sent to me not long after I arrived here, and we've vetted a lot of options. But you know, that is a teenager standing at the edge of the garage, cell phone in hand, facing inward, taken by a person from a driver's vantage point who was driving past the garage and was able to snap that picture and send it to the village. This is what we're trying to prevent. You know, we had discussions about bird spikes and all different types of things. You know, honestly, I think bird spikes would put an ambitious teenager like that in a less safe position than what we have today, which is nothing on the top of the garage. These barriers have been vetted by both the architect and the contractor who built the garage, and is the best recommendation that I think we're going to be able to come up with.
So Keith, thanks. I know we had a number of questions last week. I think you've, at least to my satisfaction, you've answered all of them. Appreciate the answer in terms of the cost, the X-raying, the amount, I mean, just physically having to install it, I imagine it's going to be costly. Appreciated that. And then certainly the mock-ups are excellent and give us a real clear picture that this looks, and to your point, I think it'll be pretty minimal in terms of any sight lines from the street, but allows us to know that we're not doing anything, I think, that would really negatively affect the aesthetics of the garage, which was a big deal when it went up. And then finally, do appreciate you reaching out to the church across the street, because I know that was also a very big deal. So again, just appreciate you doing all the legwork between last week and this week to get this done before the new year. I'm certainly a yes vote, and again, just appreciate the hard work.
You're welcome.
And I just want to say, like, my big thing last week was, why does it cost so much? And then now understanding that the walls are prefab with wires in it, and that if we drilled into a wire, it's going to affect the stability of the wall was significant. And so, you know, at the end of the day is that, you know, hindsight's 20/20, and if it was built into the wall, it would have made better sense when it was first built. And also, it just shows, and it's always hard to retrofit than to build new. So because of the understanding of the wall's structure and the need to keeping the wires intact and the X-ray and everything that's going to take to build this, I now understand why the cost is what it is, and so I'm comfortable with that. And I agree with Evan that the illustrations are wonderful.
Yeah, and I will tell you, you know, there's a lot of real estate on the top of that fourth floor. You know, you don't really think about the garage being as big as it is until you're standing up there. You're sort of measuring out, you know, how much prefabricated barrier needs to be created in order to be installed up there. It's a significant amount, especially on the side that faces Felina, where you don't have the turrets.
but I only had one question. Obviously, thank you for the aesthetics, thank you for the finances, thank you for answering all of our questions. But, so we're going to vote on it tonight. When will it be installed?
So he actually gave me a time frame here. So it's going to take somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks to do all the fabrication and galvanize the screening system. And then the supports, once all the materials are received here, it'll take 2 to 3 weeks, but I'm going to say a month to be conservative for the installation to happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Everybody good?
Okay, and then just continuing on with the manager's report, we have some announcements. Santa Claus will be at Santa's house at Van Ness Square on Saturday, December 13th and Saturday, December 20th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We encourage all the families to stop by and visit with Santa Claus. This Sunday will be the 13th annual menorah lighting at Van Ness Square to kick off the celebration of Hanukkah from 5:30 to 7:30. And again, that's Sunday, December 14th, this coming Sunday. The Ridgewood FMBA Local 47 presents a Santa Claus meet and greet on Tuesday, December 23rd. They will start at Glen School at 4 p.m. and they will wrap up at Willard School at 7. The schedule is posted on Village social medias and on the FMBA's social media site to see exactly what time they will be at each of the elementary schools. The Village of Ridgewood and all village offices will be closed on Wednesday, December 24th and Thursday, December 25th in celebration of the Christmas holiday. There will be garbage and recycling pickup on Christmas Eve, Tuesday, December 24th, and the recycling center will be open that day from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Upcoming Village Council meetings, January 7th is our Village Council work session. January 14th is our public meeting, and January 28th is our second work session for January. All start at 7:30 p.m. And I believe that by the end of the week, we will have finalized our budget meetings for the start of 2026, and we will be announcing them on our social media sites, and we will also announce them at the January 7th council meeting. And with that, Mayor, I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a safe New Year. I wish everybody the best as they celebrate this holiday season with their family and friends. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Keith. Let's go to council reports. Frank?
Thanks, Mayor. The only committee of mine that met was the Ridgewood Art Council. We talked about the window decorations in downtown for the holidays. And then on this past Saturday, I had the pleasure of going around to the winners and for giving them the ribbons. And it was really cool to see how excited they were to win. It just takes real pride in the town, and to see that was wonderful.
So who won?
So on the west side was Deeply Rooted, as well as Black Magic Cafe. And on the east side, I'm blanking on the name of the service. It's
It's a occupational therapist.
Yes.
Who has come, I can't remember their name either, but they've come to access.
And they're directly across from Stop and Shop.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was
Nice.
good. And thanks for asking me a question I wasn't prepared for.
It was a hard one, just, you know.
Yeah. And then we also talked about all the wonderful things that we have planned for the first half of 2026. And so expect a lot from the Ridgewood Art Council. And I also wanted to talk about, and this is directed to the council, is that recently a state New Jersey bill was passed in the Senate Budget and Appropriations Committee about e-bikes. And this was a bill that would require licensing, registration, and insurance for all e-bikes. And so I would ask the council if we could send a letter to our District 40 legislators, letting them know that we support this and that we would request that they support it at the state level. And if this had happened earlier in the year and this wasn't our last meeting, I would also request that we do a resolution in support of this. But because that's not possible, I just think it's important that we show support, that we want this to happen. And in 2026, that's going to be something that I'm going to really spearhead or be noisy about, is just the regulation of e-bikes here in town, because it's just more and more that we're seeing problems with them statewide, if not, I should say nationally wide. The New York Times did an article 2 Sundays ago about just the incredible problems that they're causing. So again, I'm going to ask everyone's support that we can send a letter to our three legislators, asking them to support this.
And I just want to say that earlier this year, Senator Corrado and Assemblyman Barlas and DePhillips hosted a forum on this issue, saying that they were going to support this kind of legislation. And I am not the least bit surprised, but exceptionally happy that they followed through on this and that this legislation is currently pending, because they met with a number of mayors, council members, and police chiefs in northern Bergen County. So kudos to them for getting this thing going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Siobhan?
Sure. So I want to thank everybody who attended the dedication of the pedestrian bridge over in the Shedler neighborhood. I want to give a big shout out to Suzanne Ruane. I also want to thank Lorraine Reynolds, because she was a big part of that, and we invited her and Suzanne, and only Suzanne was able to be there. Everyone from engineering to voting, the departments that made it happen and finding the funding. It was very exciting, and I know that our local track team is very excited that it's open. So thank you to the advocates and the engineers. The bridge has been closed since 2021, so we were all very happy to be there and see the unveiling. I also want to say thank you to everybody who made Friday night amazing. It's unbelievable to see the town bustling and everybody wrapped up and braving the cold, and it was so exciting. And I must say, I think this year's tree, and I know people say it every year, but this year is the prettiest tree. It's such an awesome tree, and thank you to every vendor, the Parks Department, the police and fire, everybody who made it happen. The only bad takeaway is it was so cold after it was over, it sort of was like everyone escaped to find warmth. But if you have not yet shopped, dined, or strolled locally, this is, really an important part of maintaining our downtown, is that people participate in it. So if you missed Friday, make it today. Go out, buy something, get a cup of coffee, and try to say thank you to everyone who participated in the Chamber of Commerce, because they really made that happen. I also wanted to say thank you for Monday night. We had the sensory-friendly tree lighting, which was, it was sort of a funny night because the tree was on, the tree was off, the tree was on, the tree was off. During the Access dinner, the couple who donated the tree had come to take photos with it, and they came and they were shocked it was off. So we actually turned it on, turned it off, turned it on again. And it was a very wonderfully attended at Ridgewood Station sensory-friendly dinner. One of the babies that was here tonight came. Our fire department has been so progressive with Operation Blue Envelope, which helps first responders interact with the autism community. It was a great economic boom. It was a social gathering. And everybody, if you haven't been to one of these, you really should. Just as a little side reference, I was able to bring my mother. And it is a curious idea for some of our older population that maybe we do that idea, because it was warm, it was lovely, and she was able to see and participate in the Access community as well. We also met with Shade Tree last night. We had a great meeting with a lot of new initiatives. Our student group from the high school is working on an acorn gathering, and what they're going to be doing is the high school students are going to be working on growing an actual acorn into a seedling, into a tree, to inspire private planting on private property, which is exciting because there's limitless amounts of room there. We are going to be asking for help from the public in gathering acorns. They do like the idea of the red oak, because that is the state tree of New Jersey, being the first, but they'll take any and all acorns, because they're going to show the children at Super Science Saturday how to see if the actual acorn's viable. There's a float test. I want to thank our students. I want to thank Mr. Liu. Obviously, we have a lot of collaboration with the high school that Pam and I both went to and love, and these kids are lights out, so we feel very lucky for these students and these ideas. Stay tuned for more on acorns. And if anybody has any acorns, feel free to gather them, and we're going to be collecting them at the stable, and all the details will be out on social next week.
Starve a squirrel.
What?
Starve a squirrel.
The students are after my own heart, because they're like, oh, we got to fight the squirrels for this. And we know how I feel about them. The other interesting thing is that our arborist attended an urban forestry example, and there's There's a couple things going on here in the state of New Jersey, but there's a new rule that they were touching base with. We passed it to open space. It's called 330-300. So 3 trees, effectively what that means is that an individual should have a view at least 3 trees from their dwelling, workplace, or school. 30, the 30% canopy cover. So that, Ridgewood's in on this. Most places have that, our schools, everything, places of work. We have a significant tree canopy. What was interesting is they're expanding it to 300. So it's 300 meters. And the goal is that within a community, everyone should live within 300 meters, which is 1,000 feet of a high-quality green space, such as a park, athletic, or forest. So this rule is really, it's easy, it's catchy, it's 330, 300. But we did pass it along to open space because, on the only one that Ridgewood's not really achieving the scorecard is the 300 meters. So we thought it was interesting. I want to thank Declan Madden for attending the training, and stay tuned on that as well. And then today, just as a reminder, we had our World Cup kickoff planning session, and the FIFA released the final schedules, and we had said it might be the 12th, it might be the following weekend on the 19th to tie into the Father's Day tournament. So it's still a working meeting. If anybody has any interest in being any part of that, we would welcome it. I'm thankful to the committee and Paul Coopersmith for kicking it off, and that's it.
Thanks, Siobhan.
I'm going to quickly say, Paul, that the third winner was Abilities Therapy Network. They're at 190 Franklin Ave, across from Stop and Shop, and their theme was Peanuts, instead of Charlie Brown and Snoopy and all that. So again, that was Abilities Therapy Network. That slipped my mind before.
Thanks, Frank. And you thought that it only happened to people my age. And with that, Evan.
Thanks so much, Paul. My gift to everyone will be the gift of time. I will be quick. HBC did not meet this week. We didn't have any applications. Library meets next week. That'll be my last meeting for the year. I think as some folks have mentioned before, Friday was a great day to be a member of this village council. Going and opening up the pedestrian bridge was such a highlight. As Siobhan mentioned, that bridge has been closed for several years. Previous councils have been unable to get that project done. I am incredibly proud to be part of this team that got that done and got that bridge built back up for those folks who depend on it. And again, special thanks to Suzanne Ruane for her advocacy in favor of getting that bridge done. Then that evening, we all got to go to the tree lighting, which it looks like a Norman Rockwell print. If you ever wonder why houses in this town sell on a weekend, because people want to be part of this community that does things like that tree lighting. Just reminds us how incredibly fortunate we all are to call this place home, and really do want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, all the village employees that worked so hard to make that such an amazing event. Really, really, really fantastic. With that, Merry Christmas to my fellow Jews, Happy Hanukkah, and happy whatever it is you're celebrating this December.
Thanks, Ev. Pam.
Last week, the Green Ridgewood Committee met, and we discussed Skip the Stuff, which is a movement to have restaurants refrain from giving people all that plastic silverware stuff automatically, but just give it if a customer asks for it. And I believe that's pending during the lame duck session in the legislature in Trenton. We also discussed food scraps recycling, the grant application the county made for the Saddle River Park for planning resiliency. And Mr. Liu and his students at Ridgewood High School reported on what they're doing. Our next meeting will be January 8th. Normally, Green Ridgewood meets in the first Thursday of the month, but nobody wants to be here on January 1st. So our first meeting in 2026 will be on January 8th. I was so pleased to stand on the refurbished footbridge at Kingsbridge Lane. It really is something that I didn't think was possible in the beginning, but we did it. And downtown for the holidays was particularly touching because it was in honor of Tony Damiano, and he couldn't make it, but it really was emotional, wonderful, magical, and also, so I hope you got to see the videos. The tree is so beautiful one of the reasons I realized is because the lights are not just on the outside, on the edges of the tree. They're all through the tree, and it gives it such a depth. And you actually can walk underneath the tree, and it's like being embraced by Christmas. It's just so lovely. Central Business District Advisory Committee meets tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the senior lounge. We do have a vacancy on that committee, so if you would like to apply, fill out the form and send it to the clerk's office. We will be discussing our priorities for 2026, marketing the CBD, and of course, parking. And for those of you who are planning to attend, see you Sunday at the menorah lighting. And happy holidays to everybody.
Thanks, Pam. Well, my fellow colleagues really covered it, the tree lighting, the pedestrian bridge, sensory-friendly dinner. I hope to see everyone out for the menorah lighting this Sunday, the 14th at 5:30 at Van Nest. It is not a long program, and it is always especially lovely. And with that, let's get to our regular agenda. Heather, take it away.
All right, there are no introduction or public hearings on ordinances for Ridgewood Water, resolutions for Ridgewood Water. The following resolutions, number 25-473 through 25-506, will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the Village Council. They will be read by title only. Title 59 approval, annual PFAS laboratory analysis services. Award contract, annual PFAS laboratory analysis services. Title 59 approval, servicing and repair of electric source. Award contract, servicing and repair of electric source. Title 59 approval, landscaping services for Ridgewood Water. Award contract, landscaping services for Ridgewood Water. Title 59 approval, pipe and appurtenances. Award contract, pipe and appurtenances. Title 59 approval, furnishing and delivering sodium hypochlorite. Award contract, furnishing and delivering sodium hypochlorite. Title 59 approval, annual laboratory analysis services. Award contract, annual laboratory analysis services. Title 59 approval, cold water meters and accessories. Award contract, cold water meters and accessories. Title 59 approval, infrared asphalt surface repair. Award contract, infrared asphalt surface repair. Title 59 approval, water service line replacements, main to curb. Award contract, water service line, main to curb replacements. Title 59 approval, tree maintenance services. Award contract, tree maintenance services for Ridgewood Water Facilities. Title 59 approval, asphalt trench repair. Award contract, asphalt trench repair. Title 59 approval, concrete pavement and sidewalk restoration. Award contract, concrete pavement and sidewalk restoration. Title 59 approval, water billing and data collection services. Award contract, water billing and data collection services. Award contract under Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System, security upgrades for various facilities. Approval of final payment and closeout 20-inch DIP water main. Authorize execution of in-kind agreement with New Jersey Institute of Technology Center for Translation Research related to PFAS. Determine form and other details of notes relating to construction financing loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank for East Side PFAS treatment facility. Determine form and other details of notes relating to construction financing loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank for Maine PFAS treatment facility. Determine form and other details of notes relating to construction financing loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank for Mountain PFAS treatment facility. Determine form and other details of notes relating to the construction financing loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank for various water utility infrastructure improvements, including public and private lead service line replacements. Authorize execution of property easement agreement, 535 East Ridgewood Avenue. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
And Vagianos?
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 4069.
Second.
Okay, just 1 second, sorry.
Heather needs a break after all that.
Yep.
Just give me 1 minute.
You need to take a breath, a little drink of water.
I do, and I need to find the ordinances. 1 second. Okay, so I'm sorry, who seconded?
Frank.
No.
No, me, Siobhan.
Oh, sorry.
It's one of the rare ones.
I beat him. Okay, Mortimer,
Yes.
Perrin.
Yes.
Whites.
Yes.
Winograd.
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 4069 by title?
I don't have the ordinance. Does anyone
Here it
have
is.
it that they could share with me? I'm sorry, I don't have either one for some reason.
I'm going to take a short moment in between these things so you get a chance to collect yourself.
Okay, it's an ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Vehicles and Traffic, at Section 265-42, Reserved Parking Spaces, and Section 265-52, Schedule 2, Mid-Block Crosswalks.
I move that ordinance 4069 be adopted on first reading and that January 14th, 2026 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
I second the motion.
Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes, I move the first reading of ordinance 4070.
I second.
Okay. Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes, so ordered. Will the clerk please read ordinance 4070 by title?
Again, I have none of them, so anyone who wants to read it is fine with me.
Because it's out of order.
Yeah.
So I have the other one.
I'm sorry.
All good.
In fairness, Heather, I've been on this council 3 years.
4070.
This is the first
Here we
time it's
go.
happened.
Hold on.
For ordinance 4070?
I don't, thank you. An ordinance to amend Chapter 265 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Vehicles and Traffic, in Section 265-29, Parking Meter Zone Designated.
I move that ordinance 4070 be adopted on the first reading and that January 14th, 2026 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
I second the motion.
Mortimer?
Yes, and what's
Karen?
interesting is that I just saw some commentary of this online, so I think this is something that'll really benefit our town, so yes.
All right. Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
And Vagianos.
Yes, I move the clerk read ordinance 4068 by title on second reading and that the public hearing thereon be opened.
Proudly second, and thank you, Keith.
Okay. Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
Vagianos?
Yes, will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 4068?
An ordinance to fix salaries, wages, and other compensation of and for police officers and police superior officers of the Village of Ridgewood, County of Bergen, and the State of New Jersey.
The public hearing is now open. Seeing no one, I move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
Vagianos?
Yes,
I move that ordinance 4068 be adopted on the second reading and final publication as required by law.
I second the motion.
Mortimer?
Yes.
Perrin?
Yes.
Whites?
Yes.
Winograd?
Yes.
And Vagianos?
yes,
Okay, the following resolutions, number 25-507 through 25-558, will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the village council. They will be read by title only. Approve 2026 Village Cash Management Plan. Designate official newspapers for 2026. Approve 2026 Annual Meeting Statement. Appoint village attorney. Appoint village bond attorney. Appoint village labor attorney. Appoint village auditor. Appoint professional planning consultant for affordable housing and related matters. Appoint village prosecutor. Appoint public defender. Appoint alternate public defender. Approve emergency appropriation, emergency repair of sanitary sewer line, Corsa Terrace. Authorize emergency award of contract, repair of collapsed sanitary sewer line, Corsa Terrace. Award professional services contract, special counsel, tax exemption matters for properties owned by Valley Hospital in the Village of Ridgewood. Award professional services contract, special counsel, development of Shedler property. Award professional services contract, risk management consultant. Award professional services contract, retainer for professional land surveyor services. Title 59 approval, landfill disposal of solid waste. Award contract, landfill disposal of solid waste. Award contract, supply and installation of hearing loops and retrofitted audio systems. Authorized shared services agreement, maintenance and repair of vehicles for Paramus. Authorized shared services agreement, prevention and education services on use and misuse of opioids with the Ridgewood Board of Education. Authorize change order, professional environmental services, laboratory analysis of collected samples related to the removal of abandoned underground fuel storage tanks, North Walnut Street parking lot. Authorized change order, professional services contract, tax exemption matters related to properties owned by Valley Hospital. Authorized change order, various hardware and software purchases. Chapter 159, budget amendment, grant from New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Deaf and Hard of Hearing grant. 2025 budget appropriation transfers. Transfer portions of opioid abatement funds through a memorandum of agreement between the state of New Jersey and local governments on opioid litigation recoveries with the county of Bergen. Endorsed community development block grant, Village of Ridgewood, lining of sewer pipes in community development block grant designated streets. Authorize encroachment agreement, 102 Stanley Place. Declare property surplus, police vehicles. Appoint members to planning board. Appoint members to zoning board of adjustment. Appoint members to library board of trustees. Appoint members to historic preservation commission. Appoint members to green team advisory committee. Appoint members to citizen safety advisory committee. Appoint members to central business district advisory committee. Appoint members to the shade tree commission. Appoint members to open space committee. Appoint members to Ridgewood Fields committee. Appoint members to Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Board. Appoint members to Ridgewood Access Committee. Appoint members to Stigma-Free Task Force. Appoint member to the Cashel Memorial Shell. Appoint members to Pride Day Committee. Appoint Joint Insurance Fund Commissioner. Appoint Public Agency Compliance Officer. Appoint Disability Coordinator. Appoint Village Council members as liaisons to various boards and committees. Authorize change order, Hudson Street Garage installation of fencing on fourth floor deck. Endorse Community Development Block Grant, Share Inc., 104 Cottage Place, replacement of floors. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mortimer,
A lot of stuff here, and I say yes to them all.
Perrin,
Yes.
Whites,
Yes.
Winograd,
Thank you, Heather. Yes.
and Vagianos.
Yes.
Okay. Final resolution will be read in full, number 25-559. Whereas it has been determined to be in the best interest of the Village of Ridgewood to institute a holiday parking program to promote shopping and dining during the final 2 Saturdays in December prior to Christmas. And whereas the Ridgewood Chamber of Commerce, in honor of Tony Damiano, the president of the Ridgewood Guild, has designed a holiday parking plan which will designate free parking at all parking spaces in the Central Business District, both on the east side and west side, including those parking spaces designated for commuter parking at the train station for the final 2 Saturdays in December prior to Christmas. And whereas the free parking spaces are to be used solely by store and business owners, employees in the Central Business District, shoppers, and those coming to dine or do business in the Village of Ridgewood Central Business District. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council hereby authorizes a holiday parking plan whereby all store and business owners, employees in the Central Business District, shoppers, diners, and people doing business in the Central Business District be granted free parking on the approved and designated dates at all parking spaces in the Central Business District, including the Ridgewood train station commuter parking spaces. And be it finally resolved that this holiday parking plan shall only be in effect on December 13th, 2025, and December 20th, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Mortimer,
Since it's only 2 Saturdays and it's in honor of Tony, I vote yes.
Perrin,
I don't think I would want this every year, but in honor of Tony, I think this is appropriate.
Whites, I'm sorry, Whites,
I love Tony Damiano to death. I'm going to vote no respectfully. I am concerned that business owners and employees may utilize the spaces, denying them to shoppers. I'm also concerned that folks may just park and stay for the full day. Understanding that I'm going to lose and that we've got the votes, I do hope I'm wrong, and just want to see the best for our business downtown, but I will respectfully vote no on this.
Winograd,
I think our town needs us to try everything, and in my time, it's been a long time since we've tried this. It's been well over a decade. We do lots, we do different things. We do Saturday, we do Thursday. Because this is late and there's 2 Saturdays, I think it's worth a try. Everybody in Ridgewood has circled the parking discussion of what if. So let the 13th and be the 20th be the what if. Let me beat Evan. Hopefully everybody will shop, dine, and stroll local, and try to be respectful and move your car, and most importantly, support our businesses and promote this. We won't know unless we try. Yes.
and Vagianos.
I'm voting no for the same reasons that Evan did. I had spent 30 years in the Central Business District, and I have little doubt that employees and shop owners will get their first lockup spots all day. And this is, while this has a wonderful feel-good sense to it, I believe it's counterproductive. So my answer is no.
Okay, thank you.
And so with that, we will go back to public comment.
Ann Loving, again, Ridgewood resident. I have a question about one resolution, number 25-521. I was hoping somebody could explain why we are hiring a special counsel for the Shudler property. Thank you.
Boyd A. Loving, Ridgewood resident. The slides for the garage were difficult to see from the back. And I remember there was a previous discussion about the fencing with respect to the fencing or protective layer or protective material on the other levels. Has that already been taken care of? There was some concern about the open windows, whether people could throw things out or fall out of those. It looked as though from the photos that there is already some sort of fencing on all those, but I just couldn't see it that well. And I'm just wondering if there's a comment on that. Does that fencing already exist, or is that also planned for sometime in the future? That is the other floors in terms of what protection is going to be provided to the other floors, if it's not there already. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Boyd. Anybody else? And there's no one on our public access, so I'll close public comment. And would anyone like to respond to either of the
Sure.
commenters?
Through you, Mayor, to Mrs. Loving. We have had Bill Sullivan. He has experience in historic preservation law. He serves as counsel to the Historic Preservation Commission in a number of other municipalities, and he has been a tremendous resource for us as we embarked on the park development project, both on the historic preservation side, and we will continue to be utilizing his services in 2026. Mr. Loving, right now, what's being proposed is just for the 4th floor. In talking to the police department and viewing the cameras, that's where we have the young people congregate. That's what sparked us to engage with a security firm to be able to monitor the activity on the 4th floor. That is where we are most concerned about a threat to public safety. I know on the lower level, there's decorative barriers that are in the openings. It has not been brought to my attention that there's a real concern, only because the interior areas where most people park, so it's not as, it's more monitored, let's say, than the 4th floor. So right now, there is not any plan to do anything on the 2nd or 3rd floor. What's proposed tonight and what was approved tonight is exclusively for the top of the garage.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a small point that Bill Sullivan was the counsel that was represented in us, the village, at the SHPO hearing. So he was there, he was part of the hearing, so he's not new to it. And then, too, the other thing is that when we looked at the parking garage, the lower levels are more traveled. So it's the vacant 4th floor, like where people don't get up there as much, which makes it more of an attractive nuisance to the teenagers.
Anyone else? Let's entertain a resolution to go into closed session.
Okay, be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council meet in closed session on December 10th, 2025 at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter as the matter on the agenda can be reached. And that said closed session be held in the caucus room on the 4th floor of the Ridgewood Village Hall, 131 North Maple Avenue, Ridgewood, New Jersey. And be it further resolved that the matters to be discussed in closed session are limited to legal matters to include affordable housing. These matters are allowable under NJSA 10:4-12 et sec. And be further resolved that the minutes of this meeting shall be made available to the general public when such matters have been deemed completed by resolution of the village council. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you.